June 9th, 2014, Psalm 55:20. He hath put forth his hands against such as to be at peace with him. He hath broken his covenant. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet they were drawn swords. Is this what we're seeing here?
Ed ecco l'incontro.
The leader of Palestine, the leader of Israel, with the Pope for a potential peace deal. A false peace. So that was on the pagan Pentecost day, yesterday on Sunday. So Pope Francis' peace plea at the Israel Palestine prayer meeting. First time he had a prayer for the Quran at the Vatican. And the Quran contains about 109 verses that call for Muslims to war with non-believers and chop off their heads and fingers and kill infidels. So, and all the verses are footnoted down here that you can read at this website. Okay? You're blessed for fighting. You get all kinds of stuff. 70 virgins in heaven, all that stuff. All your lies the devil tells you. So, you know, the Black Pope basically is the superior general of all the Jesuits. This Pope is the first Jesuit. You know, he runs, you can see here, he runs Illuminati, Zionist, Council of Foreign Relations, Bilderberg, Freemasons, Knights of Templar, FBI, NSA, all the leaders, Obama, and on and on. So, and this is the first Jesuit Pope. Alright, so the Jesuits basically run the world. And they have what's called a Balfour document that gives them rights to the holy sites. And they want to build that third temple so they can do the abomination of desolation so the Pope can walk in there. Or the Antichrist. So the Antichrist false peace treaty, so that's what's taking place now. And for when they say peace and safety, then sudden destruction comes upon them. So is this when Ezekiel 38 happens? When Russia and the rest of the Muslim nations around Israel come against Israel? I mean, here's Islam today. Kill the Jews on their head. So they're mad about losing Israel, the land, to Israel. So Ezekiel 38:3, and saith thus the Lord, behold, I am against thee, O Gog, that's Russia. And he says, I'm going to bring Persia, Ethiopia, Libya with them. And if you're moving right along, if you're going down, and it says, against the mountains of Israel. And then if you keep going down, God destroys them. Alright? So could this happen soon? See, Iran was Persia. Alright? Let's not forget about them. So, in Ezekiel 39:9 it says, and they dwell in the cities of Israel and shall go forth and shall set fire and burn the weapons. This is after the Lord conquers them. They shall burn for 7 years. Okay, so is that like 7 years of the tribulation? So this happens at the beginning of the tribulation and the rapture happens at the beginning. So it's a simultaneous thing. Moving right along. This is Israel, the chosen people, the chaste people, Palestine. They get conquered again, just like David and Goliath. It's another David and Goliath story. Daniel 9:27, and he shall confirm the covenant for many for 1 week, 7 years. 1 week is 7 years. In the midst of the week, 3.5 years, he shall cause the sacrifice and the oblation to cease. Well, the third temple has to be built. So is the third temple built within the first 3.5 years? I would say yes. And when he walks in there, he shall do the abomination of desolation, which is what God hates. You're in my holy of holy places, where the Dome of the Rock is, inside this new third temple right here. It's up in there. And only the high priest can go in there once a year with a rope tied onto him. And if he screws up, he dies. So in Mark 13:14 it says, "But when you shall see the abomination of desolation spoken by the Daniel the prophet," it says, "Flee to the mountains," the last few words of that verse. So the temple has to be built, and the Antichrist has to be going into the third temple. So, is this a precursor right here? And Revelation 2:21, "And I gave her space to repent of her fornication, and she repented not." This is spiritual fornication, but it's always, maybe it has two meanings too. For, got to get right. "Behold, I will cast her in a bed, and them that commit adultery with her into the great tribulation, except they repent of their deeds." So you need to repent of your deeds, or you're going into tribulation. If you repent, you do not go into tribulation. It says right here, okay? So all those people that say the rapture doesn't happen and that we're going to go through the tribulation, ask them to explain this verse to me. You know, my email's right there, and my channel's right here. So Ezekiel 38, does it start with a nuke? You know, some say it could be like another 6-day war. Maybe it's World War III. So this is what happens after the rapture, and you don't want to be left behind. So repent of your deeds. Turn, do a 180 from all sin in your life, and get right. That we are late in the hour. The time is at hand. So Matthew 24:40, "Then shall two be in the field, and one shall be taken, and the other left." Well, one is taken in the rapture, and the other is left for tribulation. Can any anti-rapture people explain this verse to me, please? And then explain the next verse to me if you're anti-rapture. "Two women shall be grinding at the mill, and one shall be taken and the other left. Watch ye therefore, for you know not what hour your Lord doth come." Okay? So that's not Armageddon. That is the rapture. Two separate events. The second coming and the rapture are two second events. One going up, and the other is Jesus coming down and fighting Satan. Two separate events. Let's not get confused. So there's the rapture. This is, you want to repent, so you go up, see Jesus in heaven forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. A billion times, a zillion times, a zillion times, a zillion years. So tell your friends and family about him. Come on. Get off the couch. So, we have the Kaduri prophecy. He was a rabbi who died and said shortly after Ariel Sharon died, Jesus would come, and Jews don't even believe in Jesus as the Messiah. And he said Jesus is the Messiah. He had a vision. He is the modern day prophet of Israel. He's been a rabbi 80 plus years in Israel, and he died, and he said after Sharon died this last January that Jesus would come again. And then we're in the midst of 4 blood moons too. Okay, so we have those signs also. Matthew 24:48. And if the evil servant shall say in his heart, My Lord delayeth his coming, and shall begin to smite his fellow servants, and eat and drink with the drunken, the Lord of that certain servant shall come in the day that he looketh not for him, in an hour that he is not aware of, and shall cut him asunder, and appoint him his portion with the hypocrites. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Well, weeping and gnashing of teeth, we know that is hell. Okay? That is hell. Weeping and gnashing of teeth. So you want to repent and not get thrown into tribulation and not go to hell. Okay? Because hell is real. People don't like to talk about it, but Jesus talked about it 10 times more than heaven. Alright? So you can read it in the Word. So we want to go to heaven. So repent, pray, look up, for your redemption draws near. Elohim Yahshua, Yeshua Mashiach.